Did you know malaria has resurfaced in the US for the first time in 20 years? What does it mean that local mosquitoes are now carrying this deadly parasite? With 5 new cases in Florida and Texas, could this be a sign of a growing threat? And what role is climate change playing in the spread of mosquito-borne diseases? Let's explore the alarming return of malaria in the US. Malaria found in U.S. for first time in 20 years, alarming officials.
Well, now to this news from the CDC. For the first time in 20 years, health officials have confirmed a spread of malaria right here in the U.S.
And that's why this graphic is particularly disturbing. In just 2 months, 5 cases have been discovered in the U.S. One of those cases is from right in Texas.
Malaria, a potentially deadly disease caused by a mosquito-borne parasite, is making inroads into the U.S. 5 new cases of malaria, 1 in Texas and 4 in Florida, are alarming officials because they were locally acquired, meaning a mosquito in the U.S. was carrying the parasite. That hasn't happened since 2003 in Palm Beach County, Florida, according to the Centers for Disease and Prevention. Almost all cases of malaria now seen in the U.S. are from people who traveled outside the country, where they were exposed to disease-carrying mosquitoes. But these 5 new cases, seen in people who hadn't traveled abroad, raise fears that local mosquitoes could be spreading the disease to other people.
It's always worrisome that you have local transmission in an area.
Estelle Martin, an entomologist at the University of Florida who researches mosquito-borne diseases, told Vox. Malaria spreads when a person carrying the parasite gets bit by a mosquito. The parasite develops inside the mosquito, which then bites another person, or several other people, infecting them with the parasite. But people with the parasite in their blood don't always have symptoms, making it easy for the disease to spread when an asymptomatic person is bit. Symptoms of malaria include fever, shaking, chills, headache, muscle aches, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and tiredness, according to the CDC. If it's not treated promptly, the infection can cause jaundice, anemia, kidney failure, seizures, mental confusion, coma, and death. Malaria can be treated when it's diagnosed early enough, and a vaccine is now available. These recent cases show how a warming climate can raise the risks of diseases carried by mosquitoes, ticks, or other insects known as disease vectors.
We have been able to make sure the mosquito population in that area is extremely low.
Wade Brennan, a Sarasota County mosquito manager, wrote to Vox in an email. The Texas case occurred in Cameron County in South Texas, along the Texas-Mexico border. The 5 recent cases could also have been caused by a traveler to another country who carried the disease back to the U.S., where they were bit by a mosquito that later bit one of the local individuals.
We know in general that climate can be one of many factors that can impact vector-borne diseases.
A CDC spokesperson wrote to Vox in an email, but migration might be a more likely culprit.
Today, global travel and trade allow vector-borne diseases to be moved around the world and transmitted by local mosquitoes or ticks.
The spokesperson explained,